Hey, you, if you're watching this video right now, watch to the end. I promise it's mysterious and important for all you Severance fans. And if you don't want to watch the whole thing, just watch the first half. Okay, first, let's start with the magic trick.
I'm gonna steal the principal's watch. Here we go. 1, 2. How many in your right hand? 1. How many in your left hand? 1. If I add a second one to your left hand, how many in your left hand? 2. We do the pressure like this. Without looking, what do you have in this hand? 1 ball. How many do you have in this hand? 2. Hold tight. This is the best part. Hold tight. We're gonna switch the balls. We're gonna put 2 in this hand, 1 in this hand. Ready, set, go. Do you feel it go, yes or no?
I'm okay.
Okay, you gotta be honest. Here we go. We'll do it one time. 1, 2, 3. Do you feel it go, yes or no?
Yes.
Look at that hand. Go on. Hold on. It didn't work. If you can tell me how many in my hand, I'm gonna give the principal the best souvenir ever. No, there's not. You were a really nice guy, but I think I got one of these. Is this your watch?
Every great magician knows a single rule, which is to keep their audience looking in the wrong place. In this case, the magician kept the principal's focus and attention on the red balls, making him think that that's what mattered. All the while, the trick he was really trying to pull was stealing the watch. The point of this video is politics works the same way, but I want to tell you how. In my last video, we talked about how culture wars and wedge issues keep us distracted. As President Lyndon B. Johnson famously said,
"If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you."
it's a classic divide and conquer strategy, and it works. So let's look at exactly who's doing the pocket picking and how. We see it every day. Furious debates about identity, morality, or whether your neighbor is the enemy. And these stories and issues do matter, but the intensity and focus placed on them often serves one crucial purpose, which is misdirection. Because while we're fighting each other, powerful forces are shaping laws and policies out of sight. Let's slow down for a second and really unpack something you might have heard about. Citizens United. It's important because it totally changed how money works in politics. First, think about how you or I might donate to a candidate. The maximum we can legally give directly to someone's campaign is just a few $1,000s. There's a clear limit, and the campaign itself controls how that money gets spent on staff, ads, yard signs, things like that. But in 2010, the Supreme Court ruled on a case called Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission. They said that corporations, unions, and billionaires can spend unlimited amounts of money, millions or even hundreds of millions of dollars, as long as they do it separately from a candidate's official campaign. These unlimited donations usually go into something called a super PAC, and super PACs can't directly coordinate with the campaign, but realistically, they run endless ads, send mailers, and organize events. Basically, everything that a campaign would do and everything that helps a candidate win. But because this money is unlimited, it completely dwarfs what normal people can donate. Now, elections aren't decided by small individual donations, they're decided by massive, secretive spending by the ultra wealthy. This is why you hear people saying elections have become auctions, because whoever has the most money gets the loudest voice. And to make it worse, much of this money can be spent without the public ever knowing who's really behind it. That's why they call it dark money. Citizens United matters because it dramatically shifted power in politics away from regular voters like you and me and toward a handful of extremely wealthy donors who can buy massive influence. I'll let Bernie Sanders help explain.
So that gets back to money in politics, how horrific Citizens United has been, not only in allowing billionaires to buy elections, but to intimidate people. If somebody says to me, Bernie, I want you to vote for this bill, here's a $5 check. That's bribery. If somebody says, hey, Bernie, I'm willing to start a super PAC for you, put a $200 million into it, perfectly legal. That's absurd.
So why should you, as a regular person, care about all this big money stuff? Here's why. If a politician needs millions of dollars to win, they'll spend their time trying to make those big donors happy, not regular voters. That means when it's time to make decisions about your health care, drug prices, or even your paycheck, the politicians are looking out for people who wrote those big checks, not you or me. It's a big reason why it feels like your health insurance costs and medicine prices keep going up and up while your paycheck stays about the same. It's because politicians don't work for you. They work for who keeps them elected and employed.
You're a politician. You're a United States Senator. You're thinking about, the issue. All right. The prescription drugs are too high. You want to vote with your constituents, but you know that if you take a bold step to take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry, they're going to pour huge amounts of money and defeat you. All right. So you got to get at the root of everything, not at everything, but a key part of this whole discussion, John, is money in politics. People cannot vote their conscience. They can't vote their intelligence when they know if they vote against the corporate world or the big money world, they're going to get defeated at the polls.
And here's what happens if a politician actually tries to stand up to these powerful companies or wealthy donors. The people with deep pockets just start funding that politician's opponent instead. They pour huge amounts of money into attack ads, mailers, TV commercials, until the politician who tried to fight back loses. It sends a clear message to other politicians. If you don't do what we want, we'll replace you with someone who will. It's like bullying, but with millions of dollars at stake.
You want to stand up to the drug companies? Fine. They're going to put a whole lot of money to defeat you. You prepared to do that? Well, maybe I don't want to do that. That's where we are at.
And it's not just big companies doing this. Powerful groups like AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, which is a lobbying group focused on American policy toward Israel, also spends huge amounts of money to influence elections. Why should you care? Because those politicians then decide how to spend billions of your tax dollars in aid, or even when and where the U.S. goes to war. Instead of choosing what's best for regular Americans, or even what's best for global peace, politicians end up choosing whatever makes their biggest donors happy.
If you disagree with what Netanyahu is doing in Gaza, well, you're going to have to deal with AIPAC, who's prepared to spend $17 million in a bloody Democratic caucus. You want to stand up to AIPAC? Good luck to you. You're going to find that AIPAC and other billionaire-funded super PACs are going to go to war against you, putting huge amounts of money in a primary in your general election. So it's not a question of not understanding. There are many members of the Senate who will come to you privately and say, my God, what Netanyahu is doing is outrageous. I just can't vote because money is going to come and destroy my political career.
There's also something called the revolving door, and it works like this. Politicians pass laws that help corporations make tons of money, and once those politicians leave office, they get rewarded with high-paying jobs at the same corporations or lobbying groups. Essentially, they leave public service and become multimillionaires overnight, rewarded for serving corporate America. It's completely legal, but it feels wrong, right? Here's an example. Eric Cantor used to be one of the most powerful leaders in Congress. After leaving office, he walked straight onto Wall Street, making $3 million a year. And then there's Billy Tauzin. He was a politician who helped pass a huge law in 2003 called the Medicare Prescription Drug Bill. That law made it illegal for the government to negotiate lower drug prices, basically guaranteeing pharmaceutical companies would make billions more in profits. And guess what? Immediately after leaving Congress, Tauzin became the CEO of Pharma, the drug industry's biggest lobbying group, earning up to $11 million a year. With rewards like that, who do you think these politicians were really working for while they were in office? Just like a magic trick, we've been looking at the wrong hand. We're watching the flashy, emotional headlines, culture wars, wedge issues, while quietly, money changes hands behind the scenes. That's what truly decides who has a voice in how the country is run. The biggest issue facing us isn't left versus right, it's the quiet, powerful money calling the shots. But how bad is it really? In my next video, we'll look at powerful research that shows exactly whose voice politicians hear and whose they ignore. So now that you've seen the trick, let's stop falling for it and start paying attention to the right things. If you found this helpful, please share it. Knowledge is power, and we need more people to be more informed so that we can all advocate for ourselves through collective action. So, as I stress always, please talk to your friends, family, coworkers, everyone about these issues because they matter. Leave any thoughts you have in the comment section, and thanks for watching.